Hello everyone, this is going to be our fourth video in mastering SQL from basic to advanced. And in this video, we will see the DML commands and the DQL commands. So if you remember in the last class, we have seen the data definition language and the different type of commands under the data definition language. So if anybody wants to understand the DDL language or DDL commands, you can refer to the video in the description box. Now let's understand the data manipulation language. So as the name itself suggests that these commands will be used to play around the information which we are going to store in our database or in our tables. So to understand in a better manner, let's take a very simple example. In DDL language, we either defined or created the table structures, and then depending upon the requirement we used to modify them or rename them. So modifying means basically we used to add any particular column or delete any extra column or delete any unnecessary table. Since we have created these tables, it's very obvious that we will be storing some data into it. But if you remember, in DDL language, we had no discussion related to the data. We only talked about the outer structure of the tables or the databases. So let's say if you want to add any data into it or update any existing data or delete any particular record, for all this purpose you are going to use the data manipulation language. Now data manipulation language has three commands. The first one is insert command, then there is an update command, and there is a delete command. So if you want to play anything around the data which is being present inside this table, you will be using the commands of data manipulation language. Now let us try to understand how this data manipulation language or the commands of data manipulation language works with some practical implementation. All right. So here we are on our workbench, and you can see this is all the things from our previous class where we have seen the data definition language with its practical implementation. Now, today we will see the practical implementation of DML commands. So for that, simply I'll open a new SQL query file. So for this, just click on this plus icon present here. Now you can open a new SQL tab for the data manipulation language. So just by clicking plus, you will find that a new SQL tab has been opened. The first command which we will see in the data manipulation language is the insert command. So insert command is used when you want to add any new record to the table. So let's say you have a database and certain tables under it, and if you want to add any information to that table, you will be doing this using an insert command. Now, one thing you should remember that you cannot add any random information inside a table. Since it is a table, it has some predefined structure. That means it has certain columns. So the information which you want to pass inside that table should be according to the table structure, or it should get fitted according to the columns which is present in the table. So to understand this, I'll take a simple example. Suppose you have a table and it has three columns like this: column A, B, and C. And you have information like name, education, and salary. So obviously this information will be easily fitted in these three columns. But let's say if you have little more information like city, and when you will try to add this information into this particular table, it will give you an error because the capacity of this table is of three columns, or the table is having three columns and the information you are trying to pass is of four columns. So this is the thing which you need to understand, that the information which we are trying to pass inside the table should be according to the table structure. Now let's try to do this practically. If you remember, we created one table yesterday. We will use the same table structure and we'll try to add information into that particular table. Alright, so we are back on our workbench and let us try to insert some information inside the table which we created yesterday. So for that, first of all, I'll comment out this statement using a hash, and now we will see the tables which are present in our test database. Now all of you know that to check tables present inside a database, we run a command called as show tables. So you can see that we have one table with name as new students. To get a detailed information about this table structure, we will run a describe command on this table. So describe new students. I'll select this and run this command. Now you can see that there are 4 items inside the field list. So this means that there are basically 4 columns present inside this new students table. So the information which we want to pass inside this table should be in this format. So let us see how we can feed the information inside this table using an insert command. So we will write insert into and then table name. So the table name is new underscore students, and then inside a bracket we will pass all the column names. So the column names are like student underscore id, first underscore name, last underscore name, and then marks. Now let us see the next DML command, that is an update command. Update. So update command is used to modify the existing records present inside the table. So if you want to update any particular value or any particular record, that can be done using an update command. So modify existing records inside a table. So let's say in this table we have values like John, Smith and 90 in the first row. So if I want to update the marks or change the marks of John Smith from 90 to 70, I can do that using an update command. So let us see how we can use update command to modify the existing record. So for this, first of all, we will comment out this statement. Now we will write update and the table which we want to update. So new underscore students. Now here we will write set the column name which we want to update. So we want to update the value from the column name marks. Now here we will specify the value we want to update. Set marks equals to 80. For example, from 90 we want to change it to 80. Now, one thing we should remember that this set marks equals to 80 is now applicable to this entire marks column. So if we will run this particular statement, entire values of this marks column will be changed or updated to 80. But we want to update the marks of John Smith only. So here we will specify one condition using a where clause. So this different type of clause we will see in detail in the coming videos, but here for just understanding purpose we will use them. So we will use a where clause where first name, we will specify the condition first name equals to John. Now this update command will run only on those records where the first name is equal to John. So here the first name John is for these 2 particular records. So this marks will change from 90 to 80. So let us run this particular command. Now you can see that two rows affected. That means the marks have been successfully updated. And now let's run this select star from new students, and you will see that the marks have updated to 80. In the similar manner, if you want to update the marks of, let's say, Jane, so here you just need to pass Jane and let's say marks updated to 70, and let us run this. You can see that one row is affected in the output, and will run select star, and you can see the marks of Jane has been successfully updated. So in this manner, using an update command, you can update multiple records or you can update the required information. I hope now everybody understand how the update command works and how to use it as per our requirement. So this was all about the update command. So far we have seen the insert command and the update command. Now let us move to the last DML command, that is an delete command. So a delete command is used to delete one or more records from a table. Now, let's see a practical implementation of a delete command. So first of all, I'll comment out this. Now, let us take an example of the same table. Here, you have 4 records in this. Now, let's say we want to delete the last record from this particular table. So how we can do this? By simply writing delete from table name. Now here, as we did in the update command, we will specify the condition where student id equals to 3. You could have also written that first name equals to Jen or last name equals to Bob, but I have simply written student id equals to 3. Now when you will run this particular command, you will see that the last record of this particular table has been omitted. So let us run this, and you can see that one row is affected. So now let's run select star from new students, and you can see that the last record has been successfully removed. So in this way, you can remove one or multiple records from the particular table. Now let's say what will happen if we won't specify the condition. So if we remove this where clause, then this delete command will remove all the records from this particular table. So delete from new students will remove all the records from this table. If I'll run this without a where clause, then just look at the output. The output says that 3 rows affected. Now if we will run this select star from new students, then you'll see that there are no records present inside this table. So basically, whenever we use a delete command, always remember that it should be used with an where clause. If delete command is used without an where clause, then it will remove all the records of that particular table. So I hope now everybody has a clear understanding how and delete command works. So this was all about the data manipulation language and the commands under it. So we have seen insert command for inserting values inside a table, update command to update any particular value of the table, and a delete command to delete or remove records from the particular table. So I hope now everybody is familiar with the data manipulation language also. So now let us move ahead with another language, that is an data query language, and under data query language there is one single command that is called as an select command. So select command is basically used to retrieve data from the table or from the database. So far we have used select commands multiple times, and you can see that the main job of an select command is used to fetch data from a particular table. So whenever we want to fetch data or any particular record from any table or databases, we will be using the select command, and then we will be writing the entire query. So that is all about the select command, and in the coming videos or when we will have the queries part, we will see that how often we are going to use this select command. So I hope now everybody has a fair bit of understanding what is in data manipulation language and a data query language. So in DML, we play around the data like inserting the data into tables, updating it or deleting it, while data query language is used for fetching the data from the particular table. So far, we have covered data definition language, data manipulation language, and data query language. In the coming video, we will see data control language and transaction query language. So that was all about for today's video. Thank you so much everyone, and let's connect in the next video.